Hello everyone, welcome back to Lego Bay City. Today we're going to be looking at another mock that I have built for my city, which is the modification of the Fleur Cafe. I hope I pronounced that right. But this one is different from what I have already released from Rubricable, wherein I am using light nougat and sand green bricks for the second level. So you might be wondering why the sudden change. The reason for that is availability of the parts. So 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I was able to purchase a few hundred bricks of the light nougat color, and I've also bought 1x1 and 1x4 bricks of sand green colored pieces from the pick a brick walls from different places. And I've accumulated that thinking at some point I will be using that for a mock. And then years later, the Fleur Cafe came about, and I thought that was the perfect timing for me to use that in my Lego Bay City. Now, the one that I've shown in my previous designs on Rubricable uses white colored masonry bricks, which are also available from the PAB walls. So they are relatively cheaper compared to the light nougat bricks. That is the main reason why I chose that color scheme. And also because if we turn it sideways a little bit, you will be able to see that the set actually does use white bricks in the design. So for me, that was the economical way of designing an alternate or modification of the Fleur Cafe in the economical fashion. But for me, since I was able to get the light nougat bricks, I designed this set and poured a little more parts into designing and building this. So as you can see, the facade of the ground floor remains as is when you would see it from the set. But I've added more tiles for the pavement to match with the other modular buildings. And I added this road or pathway leading up to the back of the modular building, which I'll be able to show a little bit later. And then here, of course, it can't be a Fleur Cafe if it doesn't have lots of flowers and plants, duh. So I placed them here, and of course, my usual design to make the walls not so dull and colorless. So I've added more plants or growing vines on the side. Now, aesthetically, this has similarities to my El Cubo cafe, and also, of course, the Parisian restaurant. So I took inspiration from those sets and mock that have come before this one, and I thought this portion here, which has an angular side to it or angular frame, could use a balcony on top, and to sort of have a proper transition from having that curved design into a flat or straight second level, I thought the easiest way would be to add plants to it and sort of like have the whole thing covered with flowers of different colors. Now, of course, being that the cafe is on the ground floor and that there is access on the second floor, we have the stairs that lead to the second level. Again, taking inspiration from the previous sets and mock that came before this one. As you would notice in my recent designs, I have been using stairs outside the buildings, mainly also because to have a separation of the facility or the establishment on the ground floor from the second level and the third level itself. Also because I think it adds some features of European style buildings where you'd be able to see the stairs outside of the building rather than inside. Yeah, for me, it's just personal preferences. And also, it depends on whether it fits the design or not. In this case, for me, I liked how it looked, and that's why I placed it outside. Similar to the other modification that I've done for this set. Now, of course, rotating it even further, you'll be able to see the backside of the building. And of course, we have an access here from the front of the building, and we have a lot of flowers in this small flower shop. For me, this one would be a waste of space if we didn't put something at the back. And the usual one would be either to pave it and have it like a proper back wall or back alley, or we would just have trash in it, a trash bin, a mouse or a cat. But for me, since this one is a cafe with the name Fleur, I thought it would be that behind the cafe there is an actual flower shop where people could buy more flowers for their houses and for their other buildings. Well, also, just not to be able to waste parts on 2x2 dark gray tiles, I've used spare 1x1 bricks, 2x2 tiles, 1x2 tiles in round corners, so that it would look like the outside pavements of old towns. And of course, we also have here an access from the cafe itself going to the back of the building. As you can see here, I have 3 windows that do not have the illegal style or illegal technique of using 1x1 slopes to create the glass stained pieces. So I'm actually running out of those things and would need to collect a few more to be able to do that. So this is also one of the reasons why if I translate this into a proper studio design, I wouldn't be able to do this stained glass feature on the studio itself. It would have to be the one piece glass that is compatible with the 1x2x3 window. And again, for the features, it has similarities of having an access like this from the Parisian restaurant and from the El Cubo Fine Art Cafe. Now we'll be looking at the interior. Now for the interior, as you can see, they have overgrown their plants and flowers. I just basically put all the plants that I have, or most of them, in just one building and just flooded it with details like this. In there, here we have a cabinet full of mugs and other souvenirs. And then here is the register and the coffee area. And then you have lots of cream puffs or pastries. And then of course you have the normal and the usual toilet, which is now inaccessible, but would have the sink and the toilet just inside it. And then here you have more details. I've added stickered pieces from other sets, and I used the 1x2 ingots and white tiles for the tile works. Although this one, I think it's questionable if I like the floor tilings for this one. For now, I'll keep it as is because it's too hard to remove. But it's quite different now from the interior of the official Lego set, which was actually just up to this point here and had a different wall background. For this one, I've used the sand green, white, and light nougat for the walls and totally removed the olive green and red stripes. That's it. And this one is about, let's say, 10 bricks wide or deep, plus this area right here. Now for the second level, this one is a psychiatrist's office. Weird, huh? But yeah, as I was looking up on my inventory, I had parts or mini builds from an extra Queer Eye set and sticker pieces from the another extra up house. So I used that to create this area here, which is very cozy and very inviting for a session from your personal psychiatrist. But I think it's just something different, I guess, for the city, which is not usually placed as a business from one of the buildings. And of course, here is the balcony where you can enjoy a glass of drinks and some pastries and cherry. And then here some more details in the cabinet. But overall, I think this one, if translated into a studio style building, would be totally different from what is this one, because of course just using those printed tiles would cost already quite a bit just to put in this space here. It just so happens that of course I had that extra parts and I used it for this building. Again, for the front windows, we have the stained glass style. The roof part or the attic has a removable roof section, and from the ladder here you can go up to a bedroom and a painting area, where this is one is more of just like where you could rest up but not necessarily live in. So there are lots of paints, brushes, and so all sorts. And this one came from the Anna and Elsa Arundel set. So yeah, this one is composed of different sticker pieces from different sets, mini builds, and whatnot. But it's just mainly my way of reusing some old sets that have been dismantled and the parts are being used all over the city. So reuse, reduce, recycle, I guess. Anyway, that's, I think, simple enough. And then place back the roof. And there we go. Now for the placement of this seat modular, I might end up keeping it with the rest of the buildings here, seeing as it might be more of the rural kind of building rather than a city style building. So it could probably end up here, or I might move Diagon Alley, which is not really fitting that area, and I might place this one probably here or here, and then add 2 more modulars there and place the Diagon Alley somewhere else. But I think this one would fit well, especially since it has a nice backyard. So just before I end this, I will place 2 modulars beside it, just so you can see the height of it and how it would look like against other modular buildings. So this is how the modified Fleur Cafe looks like beside the Tudor corner and the corner castle bed and breakfast. So for me, I really like the pastel colors blending, where you have here white and sand blue and bright light blue. And then here you have sand green, dark red, and light nougat. And of course, the vines and flowers growing all over the place, I think just adds more life to a modular building. So for me, I'm really liking this setup. Although technically, when I place them in the city, they will be placed separately. Like this one would be there, and then the corner castle bed and breakfast will be at the canal area. But overall, I'm liking what I've done so far for the Fleur Cafe, which is a personal build as well. So again, I'm not saying that I won't be making the design for this in studio and releasing it on Rebrickable, because I said the same thing when I did this, and I ended up caving in and making the instructions for it. So I'll leave it up to you if you want me to create the mock instructions for this one. But of course, in a way where I am minimizing the cost and not putting in a lot of sticker or printed pieces, and reducing some parts that are not necessarily required to create something that is very similar to this one, especially like the illegal technique for the windows, which you can do personally, but in the design I may have to change it to a proper glass window. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video, and if you have suggestions on the improvement of this building, please let me know in the comments down below. And of course, if you also want me to create the instructions for this one, which might take a while before I could finalize it, please also let me know in the comments. That's it for now. I will be probably doing a city overall layout overview, which has had some additions and some changes to the layout. So I'll probably do that in the next video. Until next time, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!